Justin, and I live in a small town called Rolla, Missouri. Well, small town called Rolla in Missouri. And I started this channel with hopes of recording electric unicycle footage of me riding around just in cool places, because I used to live in Columbia. This here, if you don't know, is an electric unicycle, and it self-balances like a Segway. This one is a 9-bot Z10. It's a few years old, and hopefully, if I continue to get to make these videos and continue to watch them, I'm going to end up with a new one here in the future by a company called Kingsong, and it is a Kingsong S20 Eagle. It would be a 20-inch wheel and capable of going about 80 to 100 miles probably, and on charge. Since I created this channel, I've kind of decided I don't think I want to make this all electric unicycle, so you'll probably get to see a few more things in the future. This is the truck I've been driving for years. It's a 2500 1999 Dodge Ram. It's taken real good care of me, but I live in the Rust Belt, so you can see that it's got some rust on it. So hopefully here in the near future, I'll be getting some of this rust and out of it and fixed up, and the body work done, and you'll be able to see basically the progress of that. Some of the work I'll do myself. Much of the work I'll probably have done because I just don't have the equipment. But you'll get to see the progress on that being done. You'll get to see some electric unicycle footage, and you might even get to see some trap shooting and some rifle shooting and target practicing, and maybe some hunting. I kind of do a variety of things because I get bored, and I never know what mood I'm going to wake up in from one day to the next on what I want to do besides, getting up, going to work between 8 to 5. So hopefully you'll tune into my channel, see some of these things, if I can continue to make the videos, not get busy. I started to do this in 2019, like I said, and here come COVID, here come layoffs, here comes major life changes, so things got put on hold, and hopefully I can bring content to you guys and not bail this time. But I'll catch you guys all here pretty soon. I'm going to be in the truck. I'm heading to Walmart to do some things, and I will be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm sitting in the truck, getting ready to head to Walmart, and you have to bear with me on the noise of this beast because it's a diesel, so it's a little bit noisy inside. It's not one of the new diesels either, so it's even noisier. Bear with me, hopefully my voice is coming through loud and clear, but what I'm on my way to do is return this Walmart. This is a SD card reader, and I just dropped it in the floor because I didn't need to tape it shut. Give me just a moment. Alright, so SD card reader from Walmart. It's the On brand. It's called a Keep On, and it's an SD and micro SD card reader where it has a USB-C on one end and a USB-A on the other side. They tell you, well, being that it was USB-C on one side, you would think you would get USB-C speeds across USB 3.1 protocol. But when I got it home, got it plugged in, I noticed that my SD card files were downloading at like 20 megabytes per second, which is USB 2.0 speeds. So I did a little bit of research on Google, and sure enough, it's USB-C on one end, but the internal components only run at USB 2.0 speeds. So, little trick that they're pulling on us. So when you go to the store to buy things like that, it's something worth looking into. Which is just because they have USB-C on one side doesn't mean that the chips inside it are actually capable of running at those speeds. So I'm going to return it. and I'm probably going to either order one off Amazon or order one through Staples or buy it through Staples. We have a Staples in town that I might be able to just go to and buy one off the shelf, pay a little bit more for it, but have it now. I have a few SD card readers, but they, one of them's a weird shape. I can't get it plugged into the computer. It hits all the cables or hits the glass on my case, and just nowhere to plug it in. And you can use it with an extension cable, but it's older, and I noticed that my SD card was only downloading at like around 60 or 70 megabytes per second, the files off of it. And the card itself is capable of speeds up to 190, so I would think that over 100 is achievable. I guess we'll find out. I'll probably need some new equipment, and ordering something cheap is probably not going to cut it. So yeah, Walmart's like 5 minutes away, and I'll be going in there and changing this out. And then from there, I don't know. I've thought about riding an electric unicycle today. This town's not like Columbia, where I used to live. I had the Katy Trail there, and the University of Missouri was there. And we do have a university down here. It's not near as big. It's a branch off the University of Missouri. It's called Missouri S&T. It's not near as big of a university, so riding across it takes no time at all. But, it's kind of neat. Some of the buildings are old, kind of scenic. Good, like, architectural things to look at if you're into that kind of thing. Because it is a school of engineering, so they really like the art of engineering, put it that way. There's a little trail I ride around, though, through town. I couldn't give you one exact name of it because it like turns it, it's like 3 different trails combined into one, but it rides through part of the city and then kind of dead ends and have to take some streets and things back. May end up doing that. Any other places are going to have to be driven to. My electric unicycle is a 9-bot Z10. It's one of the older ones, so I get about 28 to 30 miles on a charge on it. So if you ride 15 miles one direction, you got to ride 15 miles back, and that means that you pretty much only get 15 miles out, and depending on if it's a windy day or what you're up against, you may not even get that far. Going forward in the future, though, with the S20 Eagle, you'll be able to go a long ways. I might actually be able to cruise some back roads. That's another thing I didn't mention. I have a Kawasaki Vulcan 900, so I'll be doing some footage on that too when I ride it around. It's cold right now in Missouri. The leaves are all off the trees, and we're probably going to be having some snow here soon, things like that. So a lot of motorcycle riding is probably going to be on hold until warmer weather. Hopefully get some unicycle rides in. I do know there's a group in Kansas City that gets together and rides. I've been wanting to drive up there. Maybe on some vacations I'll make it down to some places like Florida, things like that. There's some group rides down, I think, in Alabama, Georgia, I think. Some group rides in California. I'd like to make it to some of these in the next few years. But anyways, I'm going to finish trying to find a place to park because this place is very full and I need to pay a little more attention to what's going on. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hello guys, back again. Got the SD card reader changed, or returned and refunded. It's going to be a little noisy here when I start the truck. Got that done, and got out of there, and that place is packed. There are a lot of people. This Walmart is the only Walmart in probably a 30-mile radius, maybe farther in some directions. A lot of the towns all come to Rolla to go to Walmart, and so it gets pretty busy. Thought they were going to pull out in front of me for a minute. Probably run up to Staples and then grab a drink, snack or something, and from there we might do some unicycle riding. I tell you what, the guy up here in front riding that motorcycle, I traded my crotch rocket for the Vulcan 900, and it's a Kawasaki Vulcan 900, which is a cruiser. I traded my crotch rocket for it just so I would have a cruiser bike that I could go ride with some relatives, uncles, and my dad, some other people who have cruisers, so we could go ride together and be a little more relaxed because they go on longer rides. But ever since I sold my Ninja, I have really missed that bike, and who knows, I may end up with another one. It was probably the most fun bike I've ever had, and yeah, I mean, I really missed it. I was having some back problems there for a while, and not really back problems that I needed to go get fixed by a doc or anything, but just I had some sore spots in my back, and it's really bothering me to ride the motorcycle. And then, of course, a couple months after I get rid of the bike, it heals up and goes away. So I was kind of kicking myself for selling it, but I was getting to the point where I didn't know if it was going to be comfortable to ride anymore. And relatives were wanting to ride some distance rides, so I just traded it. And I can't say that I don't like my new bike, because I love it. But man, I missed that motorcycle, that crotch rocket. Pull it up on the back wheel and ride a wheelie, or whatever you want to do. It was just, the power was there. It was high tech, electronics all over it, analog brakes, power settings. The whole thing was computer controlled. I loved it. The new bike's a lot more mechanical than it was, but not the end of the world. Hopefully we'll continue to make them. But we're going to go shop for an SD card reader and see what they got. Hey guys, I'm back. That was a pretty quick trip through Staples. They're sold out of everything. I really don't think they had a whole lot to begin with before they sold out. These stores are having such a hard time keeping things in stock, especially with the holidays here now, but just because of shipping problems, stuff, and being able to get the supply from China and whatever country the stuff comes from, it's just not getting here. Chip shortages and everything else, but they just didn't have it. So they had some in there that were like USB hubs and had SD card readers in them, and they're just too expensive. I mean, like $40, and it's not a whole lot of money, but all I need is the USB card reader aspect of it, and I'm pretty certain I can have exactly what I need for probably $13 off of Amazon, which is unfortunate because I like to give local businesses my business because it keeps them here. but when I keep walking into stores and they don't have what I need, it makes that hard to do. So I think what we'll do is go down to some place, don't know where I'm going to go, and grab a soda, maybe an ice cream or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll go up here to Dairy Queen or Steak and Shake. So what you're looking at right here, this is the intersection of Kings Highway and 63, or Bishop, whatever you want to call it. And on the left is the Missouri S&T football field, and then a brand new Napa on the right that just opened up a few days ago. We had a Napa, but it was a lot smaller facility that started out kind of south of town, but then moved dead center in the middle of town in a little bitty shop. And now they've got what used to be Denny Ford, then changed to Sacularis Ford, and then was pretty much sold, and then Napa turned it into a Napa. We're getting close to Missouri S&T right now, or MST, S&T, whatever you want to call it. And on the left is the Kumar Student Design Center. And over in this area is where they actually make they build electric cars, like the solar cars. And they used to enter, and I think they still do, enter their solar car in races every year to race across a given area with using nothing but the power of the sun and some batteries. Do a lot of that stuff here. A lot of technological breakthroughs happen right here in this little town. They also work with, they have like a connection, I think, to like Elon Musk's SpaceX. And so they're doing stuff, like some research and stuff for SpaceX right there. On the right, it's like McNutt Hall, and that's where they do a lot of studies of rocks and minerals, and learn all about that stuff, because this school started out as called the School of Mines, Missouri School of Mines, and then it went to UMR, which was University of Missouri-Rolla, and then they switched it to Missouri S&T, and they used to just call it MST, and then I don't know why they didn't like MST, but it got changed to just called S&T, and it's branded everywhere as S&T. But it's still technically Missouri S&T, Missouri School of Science and Technology. One of my favorite places to go is over here at Buffalo Wild Wings. We don't have a whole lot of places to eat here, but we do have a Starbucks and a Buffalo Wild Wings. And Buffalo Wild Wings is where I like to hit up for lunch quite often. Another thing that I might put in the channel out there on video sometime is horseback riding. Me and some buddies ride horses from time to time. We'll go camping and might do some footage there for everybody. And while we're out in the woods riding horses and on some backwoods trails or county roads and around the campfire, we go fishing quite a bit. So might do some of that stuff. I'm gonna order some food real quick, or something, a shake.
Shake and shake. Order when you're ready.
Okay, here we go. Something I'm not sure of is if I have a limit on YouTube. I don't know how long of a video I can upload at a given time. I know the place I'm staying currently, the internet speeds are horrendous, especially for uploads. This shake may be undrinkable by straw. It's very good. One of the guys I watch on YouTube a lot, he goes by the name Duff. That's his channel name, is Duff. And he does a lot of 3D printing and a lot of electric unicycle footage where he rides the electric unicycle. His big thing is riding to Dunkin' Donuts. He does his vlogging on his rides to Dunkin' Donuts a lot, and very interesting guy. He drives a Tesla, and he's had several, and he talks about them and all the updates and stuff, and I like to watch his channel a lot. So kind of brings on a few ideas a little bit for me to possibly do with my channel. My channel's brand new, and trying to come up with good content for it. What would be good content? Man, the sun's bright. If anyone has opinions, or ideas, please throw them my way in the comments. I've thought about doing something kind of similar to the Dunkin' Donut ride, where once or twice a week, ride to a specific place. And a lot of the times in the mornings before I start work, I ride to Panera Bread. And I always grab a sandwich, but I ride the electric unicycle there because it's just much easier to get there than it is to drive the truck and have to deal with it in the drive-thru or the small parking lot. So who knows? Maybe I'll do something similar to that. I may even have another pair in here somewhere, honestly, that are ancient. Probably old as hell. Yeah. I see. I do. I have my Folkleys. I have my fake Folkleys that are scratched to crap. I can hardly see through them on the left lens. It drives me crazy, but might knock some of the sun out of my eyes. So we'll just wear the fake Oakleys. We'll wear the Folkleys. Can't beat them, and I don't even think they make them anymore. I haven't been able to find these anywhere in grocery or in gas stations for years. Haven't been able to find them. These are basically the dorms right here of Missouri S&T. All the freshmen live in, not all, but probably a big part of the freshmen live in those, if they're not living in a sorority or a fraternity. Yeah, I really hope you guys get to see some changes on this truck as far as upgrading it and fixing problems with it. One of the problems it has is very easily fixable that I hope I'll do pretty soon. Because I believe it's just a warped drum on the left. Now, how you get a warped drum, as heavy duty as these are on a truck, I don't know, but the back brake hangs, and so I can't apply enough pressure sometimes to the other brakes to stop very quickly without sliding my left back tire. It is annoying. Very, very annoying. But I think just replacing that drum and putting some new shoes on that side would fix that problem. And if it doesn't, I have no idea at this point what would. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and try to see why one brake would hang up over another in the back. And there really shouldn't be any reason for it. It doesn't have rear anti-lock brakes in the back. They work together. They had what was called a load balancing proportioning valve. I think I'm saying that correctly. And essentially, it is a valve that is hooked by a lever to your rear axle. And as you put weight in the back of the truck, or put a trailer on, anything that squats the truck down, it pushes that lever and allows more pressure to be applied to the back brakes. So your front brakes do the majority of the stopping, and your back brakes like only 15% or something. But as you apply more weight to the back of the truck, the more pressure you can put to the back brakes to help stop the truck. And so that valve would help with that, but they get old and they go bad. A lot of people removed them. This one has been removed, so it's getting full pressure to the back brakes, but the back brakes, well, each one on each side should be getting the same exact pressure. They were rebuilt not very long ago, and there's, like I said, there's no anti-locking mechanisms run by the computer, anything that would regulate one brake from the other brake. They should both be the same. So for the left rear to be locking up all the time, I believe it must have just warped, because the rotors come from O'Reilly, and a lot of that metal and parts that you get from part stores like that are just not as good as some, not even necessarily United States made parts, but your more higher end parts that you pay lots of money for that you sometimes can't even get through a parts store. I'll throw an example out of something that I bought that you can get at the parts store that kind of goes along that same idea, and that is the U-joints for the front of your four-wheel drive axles, for the four-wheel drive axles in the front of the truck. This is a Dana 60 axle in the front of this truck, and they came from the factory with Spicer, and the Spicer U-joints, and Spicer and Dana is kind of hand in hand. And at O'Reilly, for years, I buy their O'Reilly brand U-joints, and they're full-time in a Dodge. So unless you spend about $1,000 or $1,500 to put lockouts on a Dodge truck like this in this year, the U-joints and the axles turn all the time. And they don't pull all the time, but they turn. If the front tires are turning, then the axles are turning and the U-joints are turning. And so these cheaper U-joints, they just don't last. And you have to replace them all the time, and it's a big job. A big job. And so this time, last time I did it, I went in and I'm tired of buying these all the time, so I'm going to buy the best one. So I bought greaseless Spicer U-joints and put them in. And the seals, for all you that don't know much about this kind of thing or cars, if you buy a greasable U-joint, the seals do not hold as tight, and that is so that whenever you put grease in it, the grease can come out somewhere. And they just don't put as good as seals in them because they don't need them, because you're supposed to grease them continuously. I don't like greasing U-joints. If any of you guys have ever done any of that, you know the pain of greasing U-joints and greasing anything on a truck all the time. It's hard to keep a good steady cycle because we get busy, and a lot of times it don't happen as often as it should happen. So this time I bought greaseless Spicer brand U-joints, and when I put them together, you could tell the difference. It was huge, the difference between Spicer U-joints and the others. Just the weight of them, the tightness of them, how they felt, the seals, the quality of everything that went into these. So it really makes a big difference on how high quality of a part you put on your vehicle, of how long it's going to last and hold together. And I'm wondering if the same didn't go for these rear brakes. If they weren't just a cheaper metal, and pulling a trailer sometime I applied enough brakes to them that it got hot and it warped it, and then now it hangs. That's my best guess at this point, that's what's wrong. And so that's the first thing I'm going to replace. Hopefully that takes care of it. And then I'm going to move on to body work. I've been doing a lot of other things in the truck already. Added additional LED headlights to the front. So I don't know if any of you have ever driven a Dodge truck, but if you know the pain of the headlights. You can't see anything with these trucks, especially if the headlights are old and not new. You can't see anything. You replace them with the original halogen lights, and you still can't see 5 foot in front of the truck. Very dangerous. So I put LEDs in there and a harness that powers them directly from the battery and works off the dimmer switch still, but they get power directly from the battery when they run LEDs, and they're like 100 times brighter. They're way better. I put those in, and I put LED lights in the interiors. And so at nighttime, when it's dark out, if you drop something in the floorboard, you turn on the interior lights. It's like daylight in here. So I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Dodge pickups are bad for the dashes to be out of them. I busted all the pieces, and I put in a new dash from LMC Trucks that I purchased. No cracks in it now, and it's all good. The dash is good. So try to get some. Try to put some time into the body work and see if this truck. We're not going to see anything. We're going to make this truck where it looks new. It's going to take some time, but that's the goal. But for now, guys, I'll see you here in a minute whenever I get the unicycle out. Hey guys, I'm back. So on the electric unicycle. This is electric unicycle again. It's a 9-bot Z10. And we're going to go on a short ride this evening. Got the earmuffs on, because it's not quite cold enough to have a full stocking hat, I don't feel. And but cold enough that my ears are kind of get cold out in this wind. So here we go. We're going to ride down that trail I was talking about earlier that rides through town and kind of dead ends and then take a road back. We may either take the road back, we may double back for an extra long ride. So here we go. Careful. So while I'm going slow here, they had a lot of electric unicycle crashes happening here lately. I think I seen on one of the electric unicycle groups on Facebook that someone got hurt pretty bad by getting hit by a car crossing the intersection. So we all have to be pretty cautious crossing the intersections on these things. People just don't expect us. Half of them's never even seen anything like this before. So to them, we just look like a person standing there, and the next thing they know, we're out in front of them. So it didn't really make much difference whose fault it is when it's a car and the PEV rider crashing together, because it's usually the car wins, and usually turns out pretty badly for the PEV rider. stop here for a minute. This is Rolla Cemetery. I just like to cruise around through here because there's a bunch of these little roads that go around so people can go and visit the grave sites of their family and stuff. But I like to just ride through here because the roads are smooth and it's kind of it's a good place to ride. There's some deer and stuff that I like to watch back here. Probably ride through here and probably head back to the house because I think this tire is a little bit low and it's making the unicycle have to work harder than it normally does. And I didn't check tire pressure before I left because I didn't have my air pump with me. So it is what it is, but it's not flat. It's just I can't go too far on it like this because it doesn't ride as good, and it's on hills it just has to pull a lot harder, so it drains the battery very quickly when it has to work harder. But anyways, enjoy the rest of this ride. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. My pieced together and threw together video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and you guys have a good one.